There is a huge obstacle that is at the root of the suffering on the planet. I'm going to talk about it today. I'm going to ask you if you're contributing to it. We're looking at evolving into a new earth. Whatever that means, whatever dimension that's in, it's really not important. It's about who we are and what we're doing now. But there's a huge obstacle that doesn't have to exist. I'm going to ask you about it today. If you're participating in it, and I'm going to propose something for you that you may not have heard before that could possibly enlighten you on what's going on out there with us as a human species. You ready for this? I think you're going to enjoy this. Let's go. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through the fears and live an awesome life. Yeah, I got my rose-colored glasses over there. Remember, rose-colored glasses, not blinders. There's a big difference. How do you see the world? We're going to talk today about the big obstacle, the huge obstacle. This one obstacle could easily be removed. But I'm going to ask you if you are participating in it, because most of us don't think we are. And most of us are. What is that? It's separation. Are you doing that? Now, what's separation? I'm going to propose something to you that may be very different. Every single person on this planet is one personality expressing every possible facet of itself. All right? Does this make sense? Everything you see out there is you in every possible expression of itself. And you're one of those too. Appearing to be separate, not separate at all. But it has to appear to be separate in order to express itself as an individual. We are all connected, we are all one. Every single expression on this planet is one being, one energy, one personality exploring every facet of that. All right? So when you think somebody's bad, it's the one personality just expressing being bad. It's the one personality expressing being a saint. It's the one personality expressing being the murderer. And then the person who breaks through that and becomes the teacher. It is one energy, one personality, and everything you see is an expression of it, including you. So when you see another person, it is just the one collective mind personality showing what it can be. Everything you see out there, you, even as the individual, are capable of. You have not lived that life of that person who's so angry that they strike out and harm another. You have not lived that life that perhaps of the kind of abuse that causes somebody to abuse someone else. This is perpetuating itself, being passed down and over again with no cure, so we think. And instead of being one and going to the aid of those facets of that one personality, we criticize it, we separate ourselves, we point fingers, we judge it. Are you doing this? And by the way, this includes absolutely everything. This includes your response to another. If you have to criticize them or it has to be your way. I get comments on my channels all the time. We are so deep in our individual ego believing that everything is so separate from us that we want others to be and do what we want them to. Somebody said, could you do your own little promo at the end of your video so it doesn't appear that you are selling things? Millions of people watch these videos. Millions. And we want somebody to do and be like we are because we think a certain thing. I'm going to promote all my tools till the day I die, leave here. Why? I'm helping other people. You can think what you want about that. And that's true of everything you do. If somebody criticizes you for something you're doing and you feel good about it, What does that cause? What does that do? It causes separation. Their intention is to make you wrong because they see you separate and wrong. And this goes on and on and on. And we think it's the political parties or, the countries or the skin colors or the religions. And it's not. It's so much deeper than that. It's your neighbor that you're angry at because their dog poops on your yard. And so the separation happens, the anger. They are this, and I am this, and they are wrong. And those feelings continue that separation of us, and we are not united at all. Sure, we're united as long as you think what I do, and we're going to unite because we're going to unite what? Against somebody else. Nothing gets solved that way. It never has. Have you ever noticed that? It never has solved any real problems. Yes, we can gather an opposition against those who are, let's just say, blatantly doing things that could be totally destructive. But in the long run, we've never really come together as one. Even after the wars, the separation continues. The anger continues, the blame, and then we relive the wars. We continue to show it over and over and over again. It's the programming. It's the programming of separation. And it continues in everything that you look at, everything you experience. It's meant to. And so when you find fault in another, it is within you. That person is you in that situation that they're in. And they're making their own choices. But if you were that person in that situation, what were the choices you may make? Maybe you wouldn't even make as good a choices as they are. You must focus on your own choices if you want to remove this separation. See fault in no one, judge no one. You don't need to tell other people what to do. Somebody signed, today I got a mail. I really do get a chuckle out of this stuff, by the way. An email comes over and somebody says, cut the bullshit and just tell me what to do. I said, you signed up for this email list. Unsubscribe if you don't like it. But we don't. We want to strike out. We'll go on somebody's channel or we'll go into a situation and then we criticize it. We go into it and then we criticize it. We turn on the news and then we criticize it. Nobody made you do that. You're setting yourself up for separation if you do that. And it's working. You're falling for it. Are you falling for it? Yeah, separation. Even about our fashion or, our views on anything. Even if what you're doing is good for the planet, you don't have to separate yourself from anybody else. You must be the solution to make change. And all this talking and chatting and all this stuff that goes on all the platforms solves no problems. It actually creates anger and violence and harm to others. When we go into these, live demonstrations and things break out, it's just anger against one another. So must we stand up for what is, let's just say, healthy for us and others? Yes, absolutely. But you don't have to be in opposition or judge anyone. It's going to be a tough one. It's the big obstacle that can be removed. And it's going to happen all day long. Catch yourself and ask, am I judging? Am I judging? Am I judging? Oh, oops, I did it again. Can you observe? It's going to be tough because, you're going to tell yourself it's okay because they're wrong. They're you. And that's a tough one because most people, they can't imagine that we are a shared entity. We can't imagine that the collective consciousness is not only the expression of everything you see, but holds all of the answers. That one personality, you're just one grain of sand of it. Being expressive. But here's the beauty of it. Everything resides within it. All intelligence, all solutions, peace, love, unity resides there. Inspiration, inventions, technology. anything that you could use, and you get to choose how you use it. So we can choose how we play out this whole planetary evolvement, and we can come together as the one that we are again. And we don't have to agree with one another. That's not separation. That is just a self-expression. Separation is when you find fault in the other for being the expression of what you are. And there is no fault. So can we come together? Can you ask yourself if you're contributing to the big obstacle, the big separation of the one? We're meant to come back together again. That's what evolution is. That's what the new dimensions are when we come back as one beautiful unit. And the more separate we are, the more dense we are. And the more we slide into that third, fourth dimension, and we stay there. Because we can never come out of that as long as we think of ourselves as separate, wrong human beings, and we battle with one another. It's impossible to pull out of that. Impossible to pull out of that into another dimension. Because that doesn't reside in fifth dimension. It doesn't reside in the new earth. There are no wars or battles or arguments in the new earth. There's no criticism, insults. I'm right, you're wrong, and I have to tell you about it. We're doing it all day long. Are you contributing to the big obstacle? Can you start removing it now? That includes, by the way, you people that have the spouses that are dense. Oh, it's a problem. Yeah, and then we talk to each other. Yeah, mine too. And they're not, and they don't meditate, and they. Yeah, so what? That's a facet of you. That's you not being a awakened person. That's you not being an awakened person. So how are you going to influence that not awakened person? Become awakened yourself. Don't judge or criticize them. Don't find them to be a problem. If you don't want to be around them, then leave. It's like the email. You're going to criticize one of my videos, but you signed up for it. Unsubscribe. It doesn't offend me at all. Well, it's a relationship, I can't do that. Yes, you can. You can do anything you want. So if you want to stay there and create the conflict and separation because you are disapproving of the person who's not thinking and feeling like you, whether it's right or wrong, there is no such thing. It's where they are. The awakened person can totally affect that other person by being the compassion, by being the kindness, by not judging, by accepting who and what they are, and reaching out that if they're in the depths of the darkness, be the light, not the criticizer, not the judger. He without sin cast the first stone. Not me. We're all perfect, but we're all playing human roles, finding out the possibilities of imperfection. All right, you ready for this? Hey, I won't say your name. I'm going to promote my internet marketing. Guys, this is a free workshop. Go down in the description. My workshop, Shift in a New Earth workshop, is now being promoted out there for those of you who want that training every day. I do have a ton of videos. I have a ton of practices. And one of them is how do we mentally, physically, emotionally get past that separation, because if we don't, we cannot shift into the higher frequency. We cannot go to the new earth. It's impossible. Oops, I ran out of memory. We cannot ascend as individuals. We must become one. When you stop finding fault with another, you are now the solution to everything that causes the suffering on the planet. If you're willing to go into that space and realize that those people that you think are dense and they're not awakened are your best teachers, they're testing you. Thank you, because I'm feeling judgment here because you're not the way I want you to be. I guess I'm not awakened. This is a big one, and it is an obstacle to you ascending into something greater. And when you see the beauty in another, when you see the beauty in all that's going on out there, and understand that the pain and suffering does have purpose, it is part of our experience, but it's not me individual. It's you doing it. It's you as the homeless person. It's you as the politician. It's you as the abuser. It's you as the saint. It's all a facet of you. Not you, the individual here. You are the one. This is just one other expression. What are you going to do with it? It's critical. Tackle this first, and let's see where it takes you. There'll be a huge burden lifted when you realize you don't have to criticize anybody else anymore. You can observe, you can experience the humanness, but when you realize we're just all expressions, all of the problems disappear. Come join me in one of my classes. Come on over to the free workshop. If you don't like it, unsubscribe. If you don't like it, unsubscribe. Let us support one another in our positive efforts and be the light. You're whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.